At 20 years old, moving to a new city was supposed to be a fresh start, but for me, it felt like another stage to live in Emma's shadow. We are identical twins. Same blonde hair, same green eyes, even the same laugh. But that's where the similarities end. Emma has this effortless charm, this ability to pull people in like she was born to shine. Growing up, the competition between us was relentless. Sports, grades, and most painfully, boys. I'd like to say it didn't matter, but it did. Every time I liked someone, Emma would swoop in without even trying. It wasn't intentional. At least, I don't think so. Guys just gravitate toward her, and it's hard to compete with someone who's essentially a better version of you. But this move was supposed to change everything. Maybe even a chance for me to step out of her shadow. I'd fantasized about what life could be like if people saw me for a change, not just Emma's twin. It hasn't even been a month and Emma already has a boyfriend. Of course she does. She's been gushing about him all week. But what really gets me? Tonight, he's coming over for dinner, and Emma has a little surprise planned. She told us this morning over breakfast, grinning ear to ear. "Oh, by the way," she said, casually twirling a strand of her hair, "I didn't tell Jake I have an identical twin." I thought it'd be fun to see his reaction when he meets Sarah. The whole table erupted into laughter. Mom thought it was hilarious. Dad nearly choked on his coffee from laughing so hard. Even my little brother, who never cares about anything, joined in on the joke. Everyone thought it was funny, everyone except me. But I didn't say anything. I just forced a smile, pretending to be in on the joke. When Emma suggested we wear the same outfit and pull a little prank on Jake, I hesitated. The idea of playing along with one of her jokes wasn't exactly thrilling, especially when I was usually the butt of them. But for some reason, probably guilt or just wanting to avoid another, "Why can't you have fun, Sarah?" lecture, I agreed. When Jake arrived, Emma practically floated to the door to greet him while I stayed hidden in the kitchen. I heard their muffled voices and Jake's laugh, and I rolled my eyes. Of course, he already adored her. She called me in after a minute, winking over her shoulder. "Showtime." The prank started harmlessly enough. Emma was sitting with Jake on the couch, and I waited just outside the door, popcorn in hand. She announced she was going to grab popcorn and slipped out, barely brushing past me as I walked in. I handed Jake the bowl with a casual, "Here you go," then paused dramatically. "Oh, shoot," I said, snapping my fingers. "I forgot the soda." I walked out, and Emma immediately came back in, holding 2 cans of soda, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Jake's face was priceless. He stared at the popcorn, then at the sodas, then at Emma, his mouth slightly open. When Emma left to grab something else, I came back in again with another random snack, just to keep it going. Jake finally shook his head, looking genuinely baffled. "What is happening right now?" he muttered, glancing between us like he was caught in some surreal dream. That was it for Emma. She burst out laughing so hard, she nearly spilled the soda. I couldn't help but smile a little at how ridiculous the whole thing was. It was funny, in a way, seeing Jake completely clueless. After the prank, Emma finally introduced me properly to Jake. "Jake, meet Sarah, my twin sister," she said, her eyes sparkling with amusement. That was the moment I got my first real look at him. And, oh, it hit me like a punch to the stomach. He wasn't just good-looking, he was exactly the type of guy I'd always dreamed about. His dark hair, the easy smile, the way his eyes crinkled when he looked at you. It was like someone had plucked him straight out of my imagination and dropped him into Emma's lap. "Nice to meet you," Jake said, flashing a grin that made my heart skip a beat. I mumbled something polite, though I wasn't sure what. My face felt like it was on fire. Later, when my parents and little brother announced they were heading out to grab some groceries, they asked if I wanted to come. Normally, I'd jump at the chance to escape for a bit, but I didn't feel like going anywhere. "I think I'll stay," I said, retreating to my room. From there, I could hear Emma and Jake settling into the living room to watch a movie. The faint sound of dialogue and their occasional laughter drifted through the walls. I tried to distract myself, scrolling mindlessly on my phone, but it didn't help. After trying to distract myself for what felt like hours, my stomach finally got the better of me. I decided to head to the kitchen for a snack, hoping the walk would clear my head. There they were, Emma and Jake, cuddled up on the couch. She was leaning into him, her hand lightly resting on his chest. And then, before I could look away, he tilted her chin up, and their lips met. I never thought I'd do something so taboo, but there I was, in the darkened kitchen, watching Emma and Jake's intimate display unbeknownst to them. His hands roamed her curves as she leaned into him, completely absorbed in her private world. My breathing quickened as I admired the way his fingers brushed her curves through her thin t-shirt and skirt. The wet sounds of their kisses mixed with the hum of the television in a heady mix that sent shivers down my spine. I found myself imagining what it would be like to have such expert hands on my own body, to be desired and appreciated in such a way. My mind filled with forbidden thoughts. What if it was me he was touching? Me he craved? As they shifted positions on the couch, Jake's hand slipped under Emma's skirt. My eyes widened at this new level of intimacy unfolding before me without me even seeing it. I stood at the kitchen counter, peering around the corner to watch Jake and Emma's intimate display. My heart raced as I took in every detail, their bodies entwined on the couch, whispers filling the room. A pang of jealousy struck me, not for what they had, but for who she got to be with him. Me, still untouched. Emma's carefree existence was something I envied deeply, her confidence, experience, closeness with Jake. It all felt so far out of reach for me. As much as I wanted to hate her for it, a part of me admired how comfortable she was in her own skin. I found myself wondering what it would feel like to trade places with my sister just for one night. Then, Emma's phone buzzed on the coffee table. She sighed, giving Jake an apologetic smile. "Sorry, I need to take this." "Be right back," she said, grabbing her phone and heading toward the hallway. "Hi, Florence," she said, her tone light and familiar. Of course, it was her best friend. Emma and Florence could spend hours on the phone, completely oblivious to the rest of the world. I peeked back into the living room, and there was Jake, sitting on the couch, now alone. He leaned back, his hands resting on his knees, looking a little awkward as he stared at the paused movie screen. This was my chance to sneak back to my room before anyone noticed I was out of place. But instead, I hesitated. I stood there, my snack forgotten in my hand, wondering what would happen if I said something to him. Just anything. I stood there frozen for a moment, my mind reeling from the boldness of my actions. But then I squared my shoulders and approached Jake, who was still sitting on the couch looking stunned. "Where we left off," I repeated, trying to keep my voice steady despite the tremor in my thighs. Instead of answering, he stared at me with an intensity that made me want to squirm under his gaze. Slowly, he reached out and brushed a stray lock of hair behind my ear, just like he had done with Emma earlier. Jake's eyes darkened as he reached out to pull me closer, his lips crashing against mine in a passionate kiss. I stood there frozen, my mind spinning from the sudden contact and the realization that he thought I was Emma. His hands roamed down my back, his fingers digging into my skin through the thin fabric of my shirt. As our tongues tangled, I couldn't help but bite down on his lips. The taste of him was intoxicating, sending heat pooling between my thighs. I knew this was wrong, so wrong, but I found myself losing myself in the feeling of being desired by someone. Jake broke the kiss to trail his lips down the column of my neck, nibbling and sucking on the sensitive skin. Jake's hands were everywhere, exploring my body with ever-increasing urgency. I didn't even realize we'd both removed our clothes until his fingers found my soft, curved bulges, which he pinched until they were hard. He bit down hard, sending jolts of pleasure straight to my core. I smiled as he pushed me down onto the couch on all fours, my heart beating wildly in anticipation of what was to come. His hot breath tickled the back of my neck as he whispered in my ear, "Remember that bet you have to pay off today." The words sent a shiver through me. "I remember," I said breathlessly, not knowing what bet he was talking about. Jake's hot breath was on my ear. His hands held my hips tightly, his fingers digging into the soft flesh as he pulled back and then pushed forward again, sinking deeper into me. Suddenly, he grabbed something off the coffee table and I felt a cool liquid being applied to my back in trance before I could react or protest. The wetness helped ease his entry as he pushed in again, stretching me wide around his girth. A moan of pain caught in my throat at the sudden burning sensation of being taken so roughly from behind. Tears pricked the corners of my eyes, but I bit my lip hard to suppress any screams that might reach Emma's room. The last thing I needed was for him to hear us and come investigate, or worse, surprise us like this. Jake's rhythmic thrusts continued, each one pushing me further into the couch cushions. His deep voice purred in my ear, told you it wouldn't hurt. But I couldn't agree. The initial pain had been searing hot, a burning ache that made tears well up, but as Jake picked up pace, something strange began to happen. The discomfort morphed into an intense sensation I'd never experienced before, a pleasurable pressure coiling low in my belly and spreading outward through every nerve ending. It was almost overwhelming, yet addictively good at the same time. I found myself arching back against him, meeting his powerful strokes with a desperate need for more contact. My inner walls clenched around his thick length as he pistoned in and out of me with increasing urgency. The room filled with the sounds of skin slapping against skin and our heavy, panting breaths. "Jake," I said hoarsely, a mix of pain and pleasure. "Harder," I whispered, not even recognizing the lewd tone in my own voice. Jake complied immediately, his hips jerking forward with brutal force that made me bite my lip again. The couch creaked under our frantic movements as he drove into me relentlessly, each thrust pushing me closer to the edge of something unfamiliar, yet tantalizingly close. I could feel my body tense, muscles coiling tightly as a throbbing pressure built at the base of my spine. It was something I'd never felt before, intense and all-consuming, and it had everything to do with Jake's relentless pace. "I'm almost there," he growled against my ear before biting down on the lobes so hard it made me cry out. A second later, I felt a throbbing deep inside me. I felt dazed and disoriented as Jake finally stilled, his heavy breathing the only sound filling the room. A searing heat radiated from where our bodies were still joined, making sweat trickle down my sides. As if in a trance, I noticed the couch cushion was soaked beneath us. I mumbled something about needing to clean up before stumbling towards the bathroom on shaky legs. In my haste, I grabbed all of my discarded clothes along with the wet sofa throw blanket. I leaned against the sink and tried to process what had just happened. The unfamiliar sensations coursing through me made my head spin. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. Now that the initial adrenaline rush was fading, dread crept in as reality set in. Emma would find out about this eventually, and God knows how she'd react when she learned her boyfriend had slept with me instead of her. After a few minutes, I heard Emma leave her room. I held my breath, my heart pounding in my chest as Emma walked over to Jake. I hid in the kitchen. My eyes were glued to the couple, not daring to blink in case they saw me hiding there. I had no idea what Jake would say, or do, when he found out what had happened. As if on cue, Emma asked again, "Where did we leave off?" Her voice was light and playful, expecting a continuation of her previous attempt. Jake's expression changed from sleepy satisfaction to confusion as he turned his head. Looking right where I was standing, I felt him looking at me, or maybe it was my impression. He shook his head in confusion. He didn't say anything to my surprise. Maybe she thought I had dreamed it. A while longer, I watched as Emma and Jake continued to watch TV, seemingly oblivious to the events that had occurred minutes before. My parents' car could be heard arriving. Emma and Jake stayed a while longer watching TV. As Jake was already saying goodbye to everyone, I walked over to say goodbye as well. Jake still looked dazed, his expression a mix of confusion and amusement. As we said goodbye with a brief hug, he leaned into me and said, "I really enjoyed the surprise." I felt a shiver run down my spine. Emma, smiling, said, "See? I told you it would work perfectly," she gushed. Jake is just playful like that. He liked our twin prank. I couldn't deny that the forbidden thrill of sneaking into Jake's arms still made me feel a surge of adrenaline, even with the lingering guilt. Part of me craved more, to explore this new attraction without hiding in Emma's shadow any longer. Jake had proven he could keep up with an unexpected twist, but could he handle two identical twins vying for his attention? The idea was both overwhelming and exhilarating as it played out in my mind like an unspoken challenge accepted. I guess this wasn't the end of my encounters with Jake, and I'm already looking forward to the chance for another twin prank. What do you think? Can you give me ideas for new pranks? I'll read what you all wrote in the comments.